Four-figure monthly car payments. That used to sound so extreme, like something only luxury car owners had. But according to new LendingTree reports, 8.6% of Americans with auto loans are now paying at least $1,000 a month for their cars. But here's what shocked me. Nearly half of those loans, 40.3%, were originated last year in 2024. That means this is not something that's slowing down, and it was just a blip during the post-COVID times and car payments are going back down. No, it's actually accelerating, and more people are going over that $1,000 mark per month to pay for their car payments. So today, let's break down where these $1,000 payments are the most common, who's the most likely to have them, and what you can do to avoid this trap of having a huge car payment, which is honestly more than some people's mortgages. I'll share my own approach to not having a car payment because I don't have a car payment now, and I hopefully plan to keep it that way. So first, let's start with talking about $1,000 car payments and where they are happening the most, because according to the data, $1,000 car payments are really common in certain states where driving is not optional. And these are places where trucks, SUVs, and long commutes are just a normal part of life and really common. So the top states with the highest share of $1,000 car loans are Texas, which makes sense, honestly, Nevada, which had 11.9%, Wyoming and Georgia, and then California and Florida. Basically, these are big spread out states with very limited public transportation where people rely heavily on personal vehicles. And in some cases, the higher incomes in these states like California mean that lenders are more willing to approve larger loans with $1,000 per month for the repayment. So let's talk about who is taking on these loans. Is it people that are doing it for work? Is it people commuting? Who is doing this? Is it boomers? Is it like the Gen Z people getting fancy cars? You might think it's mostly younger people. A lot of people always default to the younger people financing flashy cars, and that's been a stereotype for a long time. But actually, it's really mostly Gen Xers, people in their mid 40s to their early 60s, that are leading the way with this level of car payment. In fact, 10.8% of Gen X borrowers had that $1,000 or more car payment. Then baby boomers followed that with 8.6%, millennials with 8%, and Gen Z just 3.2%. That honestly ties into the amount of income level that people have. The higher income, the more likely you are to be approved for this type of loan. And a lot of Gen Z are just not making that level of income yet, so it makes sense. It also ties directly to credit scores. The borrowers most likely to carry a 4-digit car payment are those who are not with bad credit. Like, you are very unlikely to get this kind of car payment with bad credit. It's people that have the highest credit scores that are even able to qualify for these loans. Over 10% of borrowers with scores above 720 have these $1,000 or more payments on their cars. And that's because lenders are more eager to approve those people with good credit scores for bigger loans because they are more likely to actually make all of their payments and pay the loan back. So that's kind of who has these loans, but why is this happening? Why are car payments so expensive? Why is $1,000 car payments becoming normal? The fact is, car prices have risen a lot in the last few years, and they are continuing to rise, and tariffs will make them continue to rise. Vehicles are more expensive than ever, and there's really not a lot of hope that that is slowing down. Another reason is high interest rate. Everyone borrowing money right now is paying more in financing costs. That goes for housing and mortgage costs, and it also applies to car loans and car payments. You are paying more for financing. Your rates are likely higher now than they were in the last few years, and that makes the payment per month a lot higher. Because costs are so high, a lot of people are defaulting to longer loan terms. So these are 7 or even 8-year loans that stretch out payments but still keep them really high. And let's be honest, a lot of the reasons why car payments are so high is because of lifestyle choices. Trucks are expensive, SUVs are expensive, the nice to have features, the fancy features that are now almost the default in many households are all expensive. And when you put all of that together, a $1,000 car payment, it's not that uncommon anymore. It's actually not that rare. But just because people are doing it doesn't mean it's a good idea financially, and it doesn't mean it's something that you should do too. Personally, I don't have a car payment, and I don't plan to have one anytime soon. A few years ago, I saved up and paid cash for my car in 2020, and for the last few years, I have not had had a car payment. And honestly, in this season of life with little kids and daycare costs and my husband's school and bigger priorities and new houses and all of the things, I can honestly say I'm so happy not having a car payment. It's been one of the best financial decisions so far that I've made, and having that extra income in my budget for other things has been great. I also personally don't value cars that much. I don't want a fancy car. I don't want the stress of a very expensive car and anyone taking it or anyone hitting it or just any problems with it. And I also am in the season where I have little kids. I don't necessarily have the nicest inside of my car. My kids are messy and we're learning how to take care of things, but there's been a lot of junk and just grossness from little kids in my car. So I don't want a nice car right now. I just want something reliable, safe, and the financial freedom to have the money in my budget, in my savings, instead of going out every single month in a car payment. And because I paid cash every money, I get to keep the money that should be going to a car payment. It's in my pocket instead, and I can put it towards savings, investing, my kids' future, whatever I want to do. I do actually plan to buy another car eventually, and when I do, I'll be saving up in advance again instead of financing it and having a car payment for 3 to 7 years. That is something that eats up a huge chunk of your monthly budget, and I don't want that. So personally, I plan to do what some people call a reverse car payment, where you put your car payment into a high yield savings account and build up a fund where you can then make a purchase on a car. Now I get it. We all have different priorities and we all have different lifestyles. Not everyone can avoid a car payment completely, but you can take steps to make sure your car payment does not wreck your budget or your financial future. There are a few things you can do to make your car payment more affordable and lower every single month. First is to improve your credit before you buy. Honestly, the better your credit, the better rate you'll get on your loan, and those financing terms will determine how much you pay per month because it determines the interest on your loan. So the better your credit score, the lower your rate and the lower your monthly payment. Next, you can make a down payment on your car. Buying a car at zero down is probably not the best idea, so making a down payment, even if it's smaller, can help you get a lower monthly car payment. So if that's something you need, definitely try to put down as much money up front as you can. That will lower your monthly payment and make things easier for your budget ongoing. Next is that you can shop around for loan terms instead of taking whatever the dealership is offering. So you can go to other banks or credit unions or wherever and find financing for you that has the best rate possible, the best terms, so that you can have a lower monthly payment because you found your own financing. And then the next thing you should do is to look at your numbers and know what your numbers are before you walk into that dealership. Before you go, use some calculators to see what really fits your budget and the max that you want to pay. Don't let them talk you into anything higher. And honestly, look at the overall cost of the loan, not just the monthly payments. Those are some things you can do to keep your monthly payment low if you do need to get a car payment. And if you want to go the cash route like I did, well, you can. That's where sinking funds come in. And with some advanced planning, you can buy a car in cash. A sinking fund is just money you set aside consistently for a specific future expense. This is something like a car. So you can create a sinking fund for your next car purchase. And what you do is every single paycheck or every single month, you put some of your money into a savings account labeled for this expense. That money can grow and build over time. And then when you're ready, you can make the purchase in cash. Basically, instead of doing the monthly payment after, you're doing it before, and you're just piling up the money as your own bank in a high yield savings account. This is where my savings goal tracker template comes in, because you can track multiple goals in a visual way. So you can see your progress, you can stay motivated, and you can honestly build up the cash you'll actually need without any stress because you have a plan. So instead of dropping $1,000 a month after into a car that is depreciating in value, you're actually saving intentionally beforehand and planning ahead so that you're not stuck with that huge payment. And when you're ready to buy, you have options, whether that's a big down payment or it's buying the whole car in cash. So 4-figure car payments might be becoming normal now, but that does not mean they're a healthy financial choice or the right choice for you. And yes, vehicles are expensive, and yes, lenders will approve you for more than you probably need or want to pay. But you don't have to let a huge car payment consume your budget and restrict you from doing other things. Personally, for me, avoiding car payments has meant more financial freedom, less stress, and more money to put toward other things in my budget that matter more to me, and that's been fantastic. So if you're thinking about upgrading your car, but you don't have the cash set aside, take a step back, run the numbers first, see if you can get a lower payment, or if you have time on your side, set up a sinking fund and start saving cash for your next car. Ask yourself some questions. Do I want the car or do I want financial freedom instead? So thanks so much for watching. And if you do want to set up a sinking fund for your next car or any big savings goal, definitely check out my savings template. It can help you set that up and visualize it and plan it out per month what you need to save so that you're able to achieve your goal. And if you like this breakdown, definitely check out my other videos on debt and savings and how to improve your financial life, and watch this video on sinking funds next.